A major musical event that was considered the biggest happening of the decade was about to begin. The occasion was nothing but the premiere of the Ninth Symphony of Ludwig van Beethoven, the renowned composer and pianist of the classical and romantic era. The hall was fully packed. The audience included several renowned personalities, including musicians and politicians. Beethoven had not released a composition for almost 12 years, and therefore the premiere of his new composition was much publicized. People eagerly waited to see Beethoven, and finally he appeared on the stage. The audience cheered and applauded, but Beethoven did not seem caring. He appeared somewhat strange in his appearance and behavior. He seemed crazy with his exaggerated expressions and the way he moved over the stage, running, jumping, and dancing. People thought he was thrilled with that much awaited event. Soon, the music started. Beethoven got so much absorbed in conducting the event. As the mesmerizing music of his Ninth Symphony filled the hall, the audience sat frozen, breathless, fully absorbed in his new composition. Finally, the flow of music came to an end. A moment of silence. Then there was thunderous applause that seemed never ending. But Beethoven did not stop conducting the program. He appeared unaware of the surroundings. He went on conducting the music with his actions and wild movements. Then something strange happened. One of the soloists in the troupe grabbed him on his shoulders and turned him around to face the audience so that he could watch the standing ovation that he was receiving. Seeing Beethoven facing them, the audience applauded again, much louder this time. Beethoven stood there, staring at the audience, totally confused. People were also confused seeing the puzzlement of Beethoven. There were murmurs in the hall as most of the people could not understand what was actually going on. The fact was that Beethoven had gone complete deaf during the past 12 years. He kept his disability as a secret, and therefore the audience was not aware about that. He could not hear his own music played in front of him. He could not hear the thunderous applause of the crowd either. In fact, the musicians on the stage were instructed not to give any attention to Beethoven during the event, not to follow his actions and behavior on the stage while playing the music. This incident is said to be the saddest moment in Beethoven's life. At the same time, probably this was also the most glorious moment of his life. Beethoven faced gradual hearing loss in his late 20s and had gone complete deaf at the age of 44. Despite that major setback, he went on composing his great music. Some of you may wonder why I am talking about Beethoven, who lived 200 years back. How is the life of someone who lived in an era that was far different from today's world relevant to us? Beethoven died in 1827, but his music never died. His music made him immortal, as his symphonies are popular even today. No musical creations in the past 200 years could substitute or erase the creations of Beethoven. He is considered one of the greatest musicians the world has ever seen. Beethoven's life remains relevant even today for several compelling reasons. If so, let us discuss about the takeaways. First, Beethoven's life is the best example of extreme resilience. Loss of hearing would be a devastating blow to any musical composer. But Beethoven demonstrated unbelievable resilience to this adversity. Despite being deaf, he continued to compose some of his most celebrated works. How could he do that when there was no hearing aid or technical support available in those days? There were several reasons that allowed him to compose his great music despite his deafness. First thing is that Beethoven had an extraordinary memory. Since he had experienced complete musical expressions before his deafness, he could recall the sounds of all instruments and voices in his mind. Second, he developed an ability of inner hearing. This allowed him to mentally feel and manipulate music without relying on external sounds. Third, he became more sensitive to the vibrations of the instruments. Feedback in the form of vibrations while instruments are played helped him in composing and refining his musical ideas. Fourth, he documented music in his mind in the form of notes, rhythms, and sketches. Copyists who worked with him could transcribe those documents into musical notations. That's how Beethoven continued composing his masterpieces even in the face of total deafness. Second learning is that Beethoven demonstrated how to convert one's own pain and emotional turmoil into creativity. Beethoven's life was filled with pain, difficulties, and struggles. He had a very turbulent childhood. Ludwig van Beethoven was born in Germany in a musical family. His grandfather was a great musician, but his father was a drunkard. His father was too strict on him for prolonged musical practice day and night. Beethoven's family faced extreme financial difficulties. Beethoven's mother played a support role in his early life, but she passed away when he was only 16. Loss of his mother broke him so bad since she was the only emotional support to him. The intensity of Beethoven's mental suffering due to his hearing loss is evident in an emotionally charged letter that he wrote to his brothers in 1802. This letter was a kind of suicide note. Towards the end of that letter, he made it obvious that he would not like to live anymore and bid farewell to his brothers. But somehow, he did not send that letter to his brothers, but preserved it with him. Beethoven never married. He remained single throughout his life. However, in 1812, Beethoven wrote a series of passionate and deeply emotional letters addressed to an unidentified woman, referring to her as his Immortal Beloved. The true identity of this woman remains as a mystery. Whoever be this immortal beloved, Beethoven's letters reveal intense emotions that expresses his loneliness, deep love, and his inner pain. Later in his life, Beethoven took on the guardianship of his nephew, Karl, after his brother's death. However, the custody battle with Karl's mother was emotionally taxing and lasted for several years. Even his relationship with Karl turned chaotic later. These deep emotional experiences in his life influenced Beethoven's compositions, soaking his music with a deep and profound emotional outflow. Third takeaway is that the way he experimented innovation and improvisations. He always challenged the norms and deviated from the traditional musical customs. His maverick ways by which he challenged the traditional norms and customs motivates us to think differently and stick to our original ideas. Fourth learning is the way he followed his passion to pursue excellence and thus succeeding in his pursuits despite all those adversities. Beethoven's life offers timeless lessons on resilience, creativity, genuineness, passion, and innovation. His life inspires us to face challenges with courage, turning obstacles into opportunities for our success and growth. Thank you for your time. See you soon with another inspiring story. Till then, bye bye.